Right, okay, let's just get straight into this. Right, so the first thing that I want to speak about in regards to like the reality of like being a like audio YouTuber, right, is that YouTubers have turned into free advertising. The truth is that many plugin developers get in touch with YouTubers early on in their YouTube career. Like when they start to build a following, I'd say maybe around 500 subs plus. The hope is that they entice the YouTuber like with an NFR, which basically is a free plugin and it's not for resale, so you can't sell it on. In the hope that the YouTuber will in turn churn out a mostly positive review, and the cycle will repeat so that the developer has guaranteed advertising across the platform upon the release of their future plugins. And as the YouTuber grows a bigger audience, then the developer or manufacturer has a bigger audience, the more the cycle repeats. So they get the YouTubers early on in the hope that they can get them on board and they can continue to grow their potential reach for their products on YouTube. This has resulted in a very saturated market of product reviews, right? Baby audio tape is a great example, as it was everywhere on YouTube upon release. It was a wash across the board. Everybody was doing a tape video, it seemed, and most likely that was where Baby Audio sold most of its plugins. What you have to bear in mind is that in regards to audio YouTubers and audio YouTube in general, for the most part, it's turned into an open marketplace where the viewers are the potential customers and the YouTuber, in a sense, is kind of turns into the developer's puppet. And what doesn't help matters is the fact that the developers will gun you down in a heartbeat and try to discredit anything you find that shouldn't be there in their plugin. Lots of developers will be your best friend when you're delivering what they want, but trust me, as soon as you deliver anything negative, they'll be the first to publicly slate your experience. And it doesn't matter what reviews you did before, they'll come for you online and defend their product. You have to realise that YouTubers are simply viewed as free, positive advertising. And once you realise that, you'll think differently as a creator. The reach that many YouTubers have is extremely attractive for developers and manufacturers, and many YouTubers understand this. And in my opinion, they are completely in their right to charge companies to showcase their products to their audience. Why should the content creator not benefit from a developer potentially making thousands of pounds from a video that they made? They have to pay to be featured in magazines, YouTube ads, Instagram, Facebook. They all have to pay to get their product in front of an audience. So it's only fair that a YouTuber demands payment for a video. The issue that we have on YouTube is that payment is very often driven towards affiliate links, and developers and manufacturers use this, so the only payout is when one of your subscribers pay them. So they know it's in your interest to go down the hard sell route, as they know you are less likely to speak negatively of a product that you make money from, as your audience won't buy something that you wouldn't buy or use yourself. It's a very crafty technique, and developers like Waves do this a lot with their partner program. I'm pretty sure I was around like the 1K mark when they approached me, and I took the moral approach of rejecting it, as I don't feel comfortable in profiting from something I have spoken negatively on. And this is why many YouTubers would rather receive a one-off payment for the video, as they don't really want to go down the hard sell route to make money, and instead can make reviews solely based on how to use the product and like the best practices and stuff like that. In a sense, they are being paid more as demonstrators instead of selling and hyping. At that point, it doesn't matter whether they like the product or not, as all they are doing is showing you the features and how you can use it in certain scenarios, and you walk away with an overview of how it sounds. And that is completely fair to me, and that is how many big YouTube channels run things. That's how they do things. They take payment basically for just being demonstrators, and the developer pays them for being featured on their channel. There's no hyping. It's genuinely just, here's the product, here's how to use it. If you like it, you like it. Go out and buy it. Happy days. However, to get to that place where you don't need to hard sell all the time, you need a good following, as the product maker needs to know that their money isn't going to amount to like 300, 500 views. And that's what they are paying for is eyeballs that will scour over their plugin and may think about a demo which may lead to a purchase. It's an outlay that involves risk, so to counter that, you'll find that bigger YouTubers have more sponsored videos than smaller channels. What good audio YouTubers learn over time is that psychology plays a massive part in being successful on YouTube. Everybody moans about clickbaity thumbnails and over-the-top titles, when at the end of the day, the only reason we do it is because you fucking click on it. The amount of times I've had to change or adapt thumbnails and titles to make things more clickbaity is frightening. I watch my initial performance, and within the first 5 to 6 hours, I know whether or not YouTube is going to slow down its reach and recommendations. What you need to learn as viewers is that YouTube is an algorithm and it doesn't muck about, and it will cut a video dead if my main audience doesn't respond to it in the first day via clicking on it or engagement, i.e. watch time, likes, comments, shares. If a video falls short on these metrics with your core audience, then it's an early shower, unless you change something. You'll edit the video to cut dropouts and skips. You might change the thumbnail. You try and create a more intriguing title. In worst case scenario, you spam share the video on many forums, which I don't like to do, but a lot of YouTubers do it. And this is why, if something works, then you'll find that YouTubers stick to it and they will rip the arse out of it until it stops working. Right? Let's use White Sea as a good example. Right? Now, before I say this, I don't know White Sea personally. Right? This is my own opinion on what I've observed over the years. Snake oil is his thing. Right? He knows if he puts snake oil on the thumbnail, it'll get clicked. He must know because he's back to snake oil again. And I would guess that a lot of these days, he doesn't want to be that snake oil guy. Right? That's just my assumption. But the problem with YouTube is that it's much more about your personality as it is your content a lot of the time. You show people a certain part of your character and it almost becomes magnified and it kind of consumes you as people then expect that of you every single time. Even me, for example, I am viewed as Paul Third, like the upfront, no bullshit, for the people social character from YouTube, when in reality, like, I'm an autistic husband and father with quite a lot of social anxiety and somebody that struggles with life on a daily basis. Like, you guys see the side of me that's focused on my passion and me in my comfort zone, when in reality, outside of YouTube, like, I'm somebody with a lot of inward anger as I struggle to understand how to get through normal life. Understanding like how to spend valuable time with my kids, how to be a husband that's attentive, like compassionate, and can help around the house without getting confused or distracted. Being able to mask who I am so I can cope with neurotypical life. You don't see that on YouTube because that's not what you want to see. You come for hello everyone, like you come for snake oil and rude, like you come for hope you're doing marvellously well. You come for that's all for now. Thanks for watching. You come for me, you come for that side of me, and I have to deliver that because I know that's what you want to watch. And I think that all of the rest of the successful YouTubers understand this as well. To grow on YouTube, you need a niche, and you need to stand out from the crowd. You need to do something that nobody else does. My niche is being a plugin geek, right? I do level and curved match blind tests. I incorporate plugindoctor to see what's going on underneath the hood. I'm a bit of an aliasing snob. I look to debunk any marketing hype, and believe it or not, like giving my unbiased, brutally honest opinion is my niche. Being honest is my niche, right? Like Dan Worrell does very in-depth audio science-based tests and debunks a lot of audio myths whilst never showing his face, right? His niche is kind of being a bit of an audio sensei, like a guy that really knows his stuff and is extremely trusted. Like, in a sense, like he's done it for that long, like it's become his own thing. He's basically turned into an audio waveform. That's his thing. Sage Audio, who just got over like 100k subs, like he focuses in on beginner tutorials, like quick to the point mixing tutorials for various genres that you can do with nearly any plugin, right? Their niche is how widespread their reach is and how simple their approach is. They don't have a face, and nearly every video is like under 10 minutes long and normally between say 7 to 8 minutes. People know their videos are to the point with no filler, and each video is crammed with tips and follows that pace throughout the duration of the video. And mostly every big YouTuber will have some sort of niche that turns into an expectancy that is required to maintain engagement and repeat viewers. Like, That's why we do what we do. And you know, many guys online like give boys like me a hard time because it looks like I'm trying to cause controversy and stir the pot. But unfortunately, that's what you guys want. I know, because I just have to look at my views and engagement, and that's what gets me the most views. Regardless of how you feel about me, when I do these types of videos, you will watch it whether you love or hate me, because the content matter is controversial, right? We are attracted to controversy. And unfortunately for guys like me, like, I need content like this, as it seems for those who don't have Grammys or glittered audio careers. The truth is, we are more likely to watch a guy in an expensive studio compared to a guy in their bedroom. Initially, you will listen to these guys way more as they portray something that you aspire to, right? It doesn't matter if you've not heard any of their work, or like they've not had a top 100 hit or worked with one big artist. Your pre-perception will fill in the blanks. And this is one of the main reasons as to why audio YouTubers get such a bad reputation, as everybody is a pro engineer these days, right? That's what you hear all the time. Like, lots of guys want to be seen a lot more influential than what they actually are. And I'm not saying that as engineers we can't share tips or tricks that we've picked up along the way, but it's how we deliver that message. As to me, there is a difference between I tried this out and you might find this handy, compared to this will make you a better mixer, trust me, because I'm a pro. And what you've got to understand is that it's mostly all smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. Like, what makes this working engineer different from you being a working engineer? What makes him different to you, right? That's what I struggle with, because I've got to deal with this elitism all the time. Anything I have an opinion on is tainted because, what does he know? Like, who is he mixed, right? Mixes on headphones in his bedroom. Fucking audio degree. What a waste of time. He has no place to say anything about audio. And it's the same for many guys starting out on YouTube in this field. They'll be discredited because they don't have Genelecs in an acoustically treated room with audio going through $3,000 converters and Audi's headphones for referencing, right? What you've got to realise is that a lot of this is confirmation bias a lot of the time. Don't let anybody make you think that YouTube is this glamorously like paying side hustle. YouTube is a full-time job in itself. Like, I'd say I spend about 25 to 30 hours a week on YouTube on top of working Monday to Friday. In the last 365 days, I've made in the region of just over like £3,000 on YouTube. That equates to an average of £250 a month. I'm getting a bit more now as I'm working harder and growing more, and the content is getting higher engagement. But even if I was to average £500 a month, that's still only $6,000 a year. I would need to quadruple that to even consider YouTube full-time. And that is just to consider it. At the end of the day, it's extra money, and it's good when you're working 2 jobs, but you're still working 2 jobs, and YouTube is still a job. Setting up sessions, recording, replying to comments, video editing, creating thumbnails, research, like keeping an eye on the competition. It's not a jolly when you commit to it. YouTube isn't a hobby, and it needs a crap ton of hard work to grow any decent audience. The audio YouTube community is so saturated, and I see tons of guys work for 2 years to gain like 500, like 1k subs, and they get like 300 views a video, and then they just give up 6 months later. Like, and it's all because like they're making videos that are rehashed and they're offering the same shit, and it's just turned into a bit of a mess where developers and manufacturers could almost like monopolize what you see on YouTube and turn it into a graveyard of dead fucking plugin reviews and mixing tutorials that all claim to make you the best engineer out there and make them feel a little bit better about themselves at the same time. And for the guys thinking about starting up a YouTube channel devoted like purely to mix tutorials and like possibly selling courses and becoming like an online mixing guru for beginners, first think about whether you have actually made productions that others would aspire to. Have you made records that other people know and love already? Me personally, I'm not going to tell you how to mix like a pro because I can't, because I'm not a pro. Fuck, I'm not even a working engineer right now. Like, I'll happily share stuff with you to help you out and share as a community, but not because I feel that I'm an authority. In the end of the day, I'm just a guy with an audio degree, and I'm pretty geeky with plugins and technology, and like I want to become a really well-respected working engineer in the future. I'm in the same boat as you watching this right now. And the funny thing is, the guys that claim to be pro on YouTube, most of them are in the same boat as well. That's the reality of YouTube. Engineers that are in the same boat as you want to become an authority on mixing. Like personally, I aspire to be as good as the guys that make the music that I love to listen to. I want to be as good as Brower, Greg Wells, JGP, Dave Pensado, CLA, TLA, and etc, etc. Even if I can never reach that level, I will still aspire to it. As I said earlier, there is nothing wrong with sharing tips and techniques and creating an open community. But as soon as you place yourself as an authority and essentially assert yourself as better than other engineers, and this is where most of the negativity comes from on YouTube. Engineers get snippy because a random with no musical credits gathers attention from other engineers. They can't stand that others actually give a shit about their opinion. That's why I choose to stay away from many forums, right? So I don't become drawn into hate and let it get in the way of what I'm doing. As soon as you become drawn into what everybody wants you to do, you become a toned down version of yourself and you lose why you got into it in the first place. You start creating content for content's sake. And I can see many YouTubers that are in that phase right now where I can tell that they just don't have the same passion that they once did. Some achieve what they want to achieve, some become bored with it, and others move on to different things. Like YouTube has an eventual shelf life. And it's up to the YouTuber how they reinvigorate themselves to keep going. So if you do notice that your favourite audio YouTuber has been posting less and the quality of their content has maybe declined, it's probably because they've outgrown who they once were and are simply bored having to be the same character doing the same thing over and over. Like the bigger YouTubers become, they can't simply just change tactic and start spicing up the content, as it doesn't hardly work on YouTube. We can't do a Bowie and transform into somebody different because it'll most likely cause a decline in viewership and all the hard work we put in will be undone. So while you get annoyed with certain YouTubers, understand that YouTube is essentially a game. It's a game of let's give the algorithm what it wants, right? Let's see how many people we can get to click on our video and how long we can get them to watch for. That's what YouTube is about. And you have to understand that for us who take it seriously, that is the reality of being an audio YouTuber. That may be why you notice that a YouTuber misses out a few things because they prioritize watch time, as they know you won't watch the whole thing. That may be why they have super clickbaity titles and thumbnails, because it's the only way to get you to click. It may be why they opted to side with a certain developer, because they know that certain developer will push their video out to their audience. It's all a big game of cat and mouse. And at the end of the day, you just have to realise that. The advice that I will leave you guys with in this video is focus on you and don't focus too much on what other people are doing. Believe in yourself and always remember that subscribers and followers are just numbers at the end of the day. Subscribers and a big following doesn't make you an awesome musician, producer or engineer. It just means that you make good content that works for YouTube. There are people that see your desire as an opportunity to profit, and that's just life. That's how business works. Supply and demand, right? That's how social media works, supply and demand. Without your desire to aspire to something that you perceive as greater to what you already have, us YouTubers don't have an audience, and that's the honest truth. You guys are in more control than you think, and you are the key to what you want to see on this platform. The algorithm follows you and we follow the algorithm. The viewer is who makes the change on YouTube, not the creator, right? And that is the reality of being an audio YouTuber. It's just my opinions and my views at the end of the day, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So there you have it. I hope you guys have an awesome Christmas. I hope it's good to you. Thank you guys for listening to my waffling. This is just a one-off video, right? It's the only video I'll do like this, but it's something I've been wanting to speak about for a very, very long time. And I'm very glad I got it off my chest because it's been on my mind for a long time. So thank you guys for listening. Have a great Christmas, and I will see you in the new year. See you soon.